What's up, guys? It's Ricky, and I saw a very, very sad article in the Daily Sun talking about one particular charlatan pastor who is also a teacher. And this guy, I have a question for his friends over them. And so let me break down the story for you guys. So you can see the headlines. This pastor is a teacher in this certain school, and he has people that he kind of goes with or something like that. And so they were in a car, and he kept kind of like pushing his hands on this young girl, and he kept pushing to hold this girl. And they got to a park or a certain park or some sort. And then the people that were in the car with him, they're like, we're not responsible for the girl. So they left the girl with this guy who was already forcing himself on the girl. They took off and left the guy with the girl. And then the auntie, as she narrates the story, says it was after that, after all of those things that had happened in front of these people, left, that the man then forced himself on the girl. Now, when you see something that's just dodgy, you see someone like an older person pushing themselves on a girl, knowing very well that they ought not to be doing so, they're going beyond. What is your reaction, like your initial reaction? You know? Now, when you see someone who's your friend or claims to be your friend misbehaving, what's your reaction? If you saw someone doing something that was absolutely terrible and was going to be harmful for another person, what's your reaction? If you wouldn't have any reaction, you gotta ask yourself questions. Because if others didn't have questions, if something was to happen in your situation, I'm sure you feel a certain way, right? You've heard this kind of discussion or conversations when people say, you know what, if someone is in danger or in harm's way, you kind of just scoot off and then go the other way, right? Now, I remember one particular situation one day. I think this was in 2021, if you all can remember it. If you were there by those days when we did the live streams on 2021, you'll remember that was one of the days when I came to the live session. I said I thought I was going to catch a beating, because it was like when I went out to buy food, there was this guy that was like really heavily pushing himself, and he was very drunk, completely intoxicated. Now there was this young girl. Now she wasn't dressed the best, okay? This guy just stuck on her, and he stuck on her, and I was coming from behind, from far off. And I could see she was trying to get away from him, and he kept pushing to get next to her. And so I was not thinking that day. I was not thinking at all. I went and I got in the middle between him and her, and I said, what are you doing here? Let's go. And so when this guy comes up and is like, hey, who are you? And he starts following me now, this guy, and he's a bit of a big guy. And so he starts following me now, this guy. And I was just betting on the whole idea of, because I'm an adult and I am claiming that this is my sister, he is going to back off. So I stop and I keep saying, no. I kept saying, no. Let's go. And so the girl also was not sure if I was with him. But eventually when I kept pushing, come, let's go. Because she was hesitating coming to me, because she was not sure if I was with this guy. And he tries again to slide from behind me, and I pull back, and she comes, and I held her by the hand and put her right. So when he tries to circle to go towards the girl, I put her around, and he just now came to me now, because he's like, okay, you are the reason why I'm not getting across to this girl. And I stopped. I just kind of like, nope, I'm not having a conversation with you. When I think back at that day, would I have done that outside of, maybe if I had some form of security, would I have done that? If I was with someone else, would I have done that? And would I have done that in other situation? This is kind of the question. Not necessarily that, but in this situation where you are in this particular situation where someone does something that is absolutely wrong, how does one handle that? For me, I'm kind of used to calling people out. It's kind of like a second nature. Like I told you guys, before you'd have people call me out to, if like, we have an event, and they know they're going to be busy, they're busy being dodgy. And so, Mandams is not for that. Excuse me, what's up here? What's going on? Why are you bringing me here? So if you know you're going to do this, just don't bring me here. So that you don't. So they just stopped calling me to these weird events that they would get up to. If you were called out, if you had a friend that needed a call out, how do you handle that? It's quite an interesting question. It's not necessarily that you might always be in place to check someone in that position. But here are these guys, they know the person in the car. He's a fake pastor. They can see he's persisting towards this young girl. They go out like, we're not responsible, and they go. And then later on, they have this. Now you got that on your conscience. How do you work around that? If that was your sister, would that be okay? Not responsible? Would that be the case there? At what point do you call someone out? What is it that's going to... I remember I had this friend who once said something to me. And I could hear what he was about to say was just weird. And he said, I said, stop right there, and you better stop whatever it is you are busy up to there. Don't even explain any further, just stop. Don't even tell me what exactly you were about to tell me. Don't even go there. I don't want to hear it. Stop. And by that, he had more respect for me for telling him off. And he's way older than me. I've known him for a while. And so he did something. I'm like, hey, don't do that. And he's like, no. I said, don't do that. You can have your own excuses, but do not ever do that. And don't you ever come here telling me funny things like that. Stop doing that. And if it gets you in trouble, don't come here asking me. At what point do you call a person out? Because if that never becomes second nature, then people just get away with all kinds of things next to you. But anyways, I'm just interested. Like, if your friend is a pastor or claims to be a pastor, at what point do you call them out?